lag, now you're complaining about this.
Hello and welcome to the Tuesday Deathinitive Edition here at Gunfire Games. We're really excited because we've got our good friends and former Vigilites with us, Airship Syndicate, around the table with us, as well as some of the Darksiders folks that have worked on both games. And I'm just going to go around the room and introduce ourselves.
Where are you looking right now? What are you looking
at?
I'm
looking at that camera. Okay. There's two cameras.
Oh, hey, you're on
so this is a very...
I look cross-eyed.
I know, I'm trying to figure out which one to look at, but I'm also watching the game being played, which is probably what everybody can see on the screen. So, yeah, so my name is John Pearl, and I'm design director here at Gunfire Games, and I'll be your pseudo-host, but I'm sure we'll open it up and everybody will be talking in no time. So...
Am I introducing myself?
Yes, go for it. Sorry. We'll go around this way.
I'm Steve. I'm an animator. I was an animator on Darksiders 1 and 2, and I'm currently working on Battle Chasers at Airship Syndicate.
Ryan Stefanelli. I was one of the 4 guys who helped start Vigil, and I was a producer and level designer on Darksiders 2, and now I'm at Airship working on Battle Chasers.
I'm David Adams. I worked at Vigil. Also founded it with these 2 guys, one other guy, and now I work at Gunfire.
One of the 4 horsemen.
I'm Jesse Carpenter, and I was an environment artist on Darksiders 2 at Vigil, and now work at Airship on Battle Chasers as the lead environment artist.
I'm Chris Brooks. I was a software developer at Vigil, and now tech director working on Battle Chasers.
Jeremy Robbins. I was audio director on Darksiders 1 and 2, and now audio director here at Gunfire Games.
Hey, I'm Joe Madureira, Joe Mad for short, and I was also co-founder of Vigil, creative director on both Darksiders games, and obviously I'm working on Battle Chasers, so that's a book I created, in case you guys don't know what that is. Check out our Kickstarter, by the way. Battle Chasers, 3 days left. Woo. Thank you.
Sweet.
Put some Darksiders.
Yeah, but screw that game. We're here to talk about Darksiders, guys.
Yes. So what we're doing here is we're going to play through, I can't actually remember the real name. We call everything by code names.
It's the Cauldron.
Okay, the Cauldron, which we refer to lovingly as MD1.
The lava area.
So this is an early area in the first major zone of Darksiders 2. Again, this is the remastered edition. So we've done a lot. I don't know, I'm going to pass it over to Dave. He can kind of tell some of the cool tech stuff we've done behind the scenes to
Can you
make
tell I
it
haven't
together.
played in a long time?
Yeah, Steve's playing, by the way.
Yeah,
so
Steve's
you guys
playing, by the
have
way.
any
We should not have let Steve
critiques
skip the
about the
tutorial, I don't think. We should have forced Steve to go through the tutorial. Oh man, I love Karn.
Still ugly.
That's Karn. He's awesome.
Yes.
I love Karn's voice.
Yeah, so for the Deathinitive Edition, I can't even say that for the record. The Deathinitive Edition. You know, we upgraded the graphics engine, so now it's all physically based shading, and then we went through and relit the entire game basically. Because we could add more lighting because it's next gen hardware, and because with the new lighting engine, and we had a bunch of cool environment cube maps and stuff like that. So overall, it should just have a better overall look. And then of course we up-resed all the textures, and it definitely looks a lot better. And then we also went through and tweaked all the encounters and loot placement and loot drop rates and all that kind of stuff to just try to make a more smooth experience.
It looks very beautiful.
It does look really
By the way, Gunfire is doing this. We're just seeing it for the first time right now with you guys. So
Yeah, the cool thing is there was some,
Yeah.
most of the assets were done to such a high level, like this guy we had such high res texture source art for these guys that when we got them in, we were able to adapt them to because look, to be honest, we didn't have like the greatest rendering engine at Vigil, but with these changes, it brings it a lot closer to like a more modern engine as far as feature wise, and we were able to really highlight the art, and it's pretty awesome art.
What's amazing how much even the detail in his amulet stands out now.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Just the little trinkets and filigree he's got on it.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, the makers were the worst because they were like super texture crunched down to like nothing for the last gen version. So
Look at every chip in his mask.
That's true.
It's amazing. Look at that nasty elbow. That's even more gross now. In a good way, bro. Awesome.
All the details are in there.
That's cool.
wait, they can hear the audio, right? Just we can't.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, like they can.
So it's not like awkward.
I'm hoping people can hear
Oh, so we're
audio.
talking over them right
But
now?
it's a blend.
All right.
So
Steve's making sure not to skip any of the dialogue. Yes, you can see it all. So you guys can read everything.
Thank you. I was reading that.
Yeah.
What were some of the big things you did to the item balancing?
Wait,
Do you still sometimes get 3 potions out of one chest? Because that was my favorite kind of
all
chest.
chests give 3 potions at once
No.
in the same location.
that still happens. And isn't it still in the same spot? Did we ever fix
Plus,
that?
I don't know.
This is a Q&A.
No.
We're interviewing.
That's
you guys.
cool.
No, but for the loot drops, we just you just got too much weird loot, so we just kind of evened it out to where you don't get quite as much loot, but what you get is don't get me wrong, you still get a crap load of loot. It's not like you're not getting a ton of loot, but it's not like we try to reduce the overall amount of clutter and make it so that the loot drops are a little more meaningful in general. But
It looks really good.
Yeah, big thing too with Darksiders, which is a funny thing when or Darksiders 2 when it came out, was there was so many pre-order bonuses and weird ways you could get DLC and items that like it was pretty hard to get actually all the items. We've reintegrated those in, and we've actually made it so you get those in your path through. So you'll see weapons that maybe if you didn't play the original game, or you played the original game but you didn't pre-order at a specific place, you might have never seen that weapon. So we got back and rebalanced those weapons to be the appropriate level.
and most of these lights cast shadows now. So like when you walk in that light over there, there'll actually be a shadow, which there wasn't in the.
Yeah, the lighting looks awesome. Lighting looks really great.
Ben was saying,
All right, so
is the
apparently
video feed locked up?
I guess not.
Okay,
Hold on.
maybe.
Technical difficulties.
Or is somebody watching it and noticed the problem?
They're just saying
Yeah, well,
frozen.
Ben was out there pantomiming, trying to do like charades. Like, you can just walk in and talk. I don't think.
So I'm pretty sure they can hear everything that you're saying. Why don't you tell us about Battle Chasers while we're.
Yeah.
Oh god, no, I'm playing with lag.
I can't see
Just
the
keep
video feed
rolling.
anyway.
Just keep rolling.
Yeah, if you guys.
That's good. No one got to see how terrible I was sucking. I've been playing for 2 years.
Are you just restarting the whole feed?
We're not.
Yeah, I don't know.
What? Battle Chasers? What?
All right, well, we're gonna take it down real quick.
Let's talk about Darksiders 3, since that's what I get asked the most. I'm just kidding. Yeah, no, Battle Chasers is it's coming along really well. You know, we've been doing all this stuff like without funding, so it's been slow going and challenging. But our Kickstarter's up in 3 days, and we did pretty well. We funded it really early on. It's definitely slowed to a crawl now. So if you guys haven't gotten your pledges in, get them in. But yeah, it's going to be awesome. It's a JRPG style RPG. And all the characters from the books are playable, and we're trying to make sure that it appeals to just gamers and RPG players, not fans of the comic series. So
Exclusively.
Not just
I want to
fans of the
stress
comic
that.
series.
Yeah, I
Just
mean,
fans of the
obviously, if
comic
you've read the
series.
comics, there'll be lots of fan service and cool little cameos and stuff like that. But you know, don't let it deter you from checking out the game if you've never read the comics before.
It's just a fun new version of an old retro RPG genre. Looks cool. Sounds awesome. Go back it now. Thank you.
Also, people were able to see the game reflected in that TV, so we were fine.
Yeah, the observant viewer will see that the game has been playing this entire time.
You guys missed the bets. I mean, Steve has never played the game so well. We were like on the edge of our seat. You will probably never be able to do it again. Come on, Steve, dazzle us. All right, so it's working.
Yeah, it's working now. Sorry, guys.
Wait, is it frozen again? Because I'm not on inventory.
There's a minute delay,
Okay.
just to try to get enough of the buffer built up.
Okay.
But they'll hear you say that exactly when it starts going again, so they know there's no delay because we're all delayed. Never mind.
So confusing.
I have no idea.
I don't know. Streaming's hard.
By the way, this is why I still have not done a damn live feed. It's so way
It's
too
complicated. There's a lot of equipment involved.
There's definitely a skill to it. Steve's like trying to play and look at the feed to see when it stops.
Steve, stop.
It's still going. It's definitely still live.
Yeah, you can tell the icons animating on the feed.
Yeah. So people can really enjoy
So
looking
this
at
room,
that.
this room's a good example. There were a lot of lighting changes. If you saw before and after of like this room before the changes and after changes, it's pretty much night and day.
Were there no changes to anything other than the lighting in the geo? Did you guys reprop it or anything? Because I feel like maybe it's just in higher res, but I feel like I'm seeing stuff I don't remember.
Well,
Like
some
the
of the
vines, were those vines always there?
No, we
Yeah,
added some
grassy
stuff. We added
layer.
some little small details like that. Well, plus the vine before was like super blurry.
Oh yeah, so you just have to remake
Like
it.
the texture
basically?
the texture just got so crunched that
Yeah.
it couldn't really see much. It was just like a blob. So just switching to the high res textures on a lot of stuff, it's like, oh wait, that's a vine, and not like a smear.
Oh, that's what that was. You can probably open it up.
All Steve's doing it the fancy way.
Look
Look
at
at
that.
that.
We're
Well,
zooming in.
I'm actually
there
pretty
you go.
impressed by all the little things you're remembering, Steve.
Me too.
It's like when I see you do it, I'm like, oh yeah, that's right.
I'm impressed how you're able
Second
to remember
nature.
them the second
All right,
time.
if you want to pause real quick, I'm gonna cut back. It's apparently frozen up again. It's
Oh,
weird.
see?
Been testing this for like nonstop for the last 2 days.
You can probably open up questions and like let people. It'll probably give us fun stuff to talk
So this is
about.
coming out October 27th now, is that right?
Yes.
Is that the date?
Sure.
Hmm?
Yeah,
It was
I think
tweeted.
so. Yeah, no, I believe it.
Okay, all right.
It's done as far as we're concerned.
I thought you were shushing me like,
No, I have
no,
no
no, you're
idea.
just
Inside information.
All I know is the day it was approved by Sony. So.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, I saw In Time for Halloween, 27th or something, right?
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, let's go ahead and open up for questions as I try to figure out this. I'll read off a question and kick it around the room as I try to figure out what's going on with the stream. So it'll be a minute from now.
Audio's going in and out too.
Oh, it is?
That's what someone said.
UI get touched up at all?
Nope.
Yes.
Oh no, we upgraded.
Yeah, we upgraded pretty much every texture in the UI.
But the functionality is the same. But yeah.
So, all right, looks like we're getting some questions. It says the audio is still going in and out. Here's my question to this chat. How is the audio? Is it consistent at least? Because it seems like the video streams are fine. It's the actual game that's not working.
Jeremy needs to go in and just add a little more bass to the audio. That's cool.
Are you guys doing a Darksiders 1? Like Warfinitive Edition?
Warfinitive. Currently, I don't know. I don't know if Nordic is or not.
That'd be awesome, man.
We got the thumbs up again from
Jack,
the
I
man
guess
in
the
the
audio
hallway.
works.
Works again now.
Okay.
We can still take questions though while we play.
Yeah.
It'll distract
While we
from
test
Steve's
it.
combat.
Oh, it's
All right, well, I'll try this and see what's up.
You're just gonna have to play with the delay, Steve. A 1 minute delay. I don't know if that's possible. Whatever it is.
It's only like 5 or 6 seconds.
But yeah, the delay we see is like 10 seconds or 5 seconds, and then the delay that's on the stream. So yeah, I've seen the question a lot. There will be a PC version that's coming out after the console release. There's not a specific date yet. I'm sure Nordic will have more to announce on that in the relatively near future. So there will be a PC version available.
What was it like firing it back up and playing it? Starting to work out, like opening up the editor and seeing.
It was kind of
Fantastic.
weird. I think the first thing was like, oh my god,
Couple
this
years.
editor crashes all the time. How did we ever work on this game? But once you got past that, it was it was kind of weird
Yeah,
actually.
You have to use it on
God,
There
Steve
it
would
is.
play this level like 800 times.
I know.
It deflected off of the bomb.
But yeah, that was kind of bizarre.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah.
I never gave. I was always just so happy when we finally got undo in the editor. I never complained again after that.
Yeah, it's
So
one of those
it's a-
things where it just crashes all the time. You just
Okay.
kind of forget about it after a while. You just work around it, then you go back and like, what the?
What the bleep?
Yeah, like this room was completely relit. I don't know. It was like all blue before. It was kind of weird because a lot of.
But yeah, I know that was one of the most striking things when we were looking at some of the before, or like the, whatever you call them, the comparison shots is, yeah, some of the lighting, even just the color, everything about it seemed to change.
Yeah, because one of the big things is like now that it bakes a lot of lighting into
Someone in the hallway is giving us the no-go sign.
Again?
Yep. Okay. Man, as well.
Maybe it's you can't switch like that. He's just gonna play with a 6-second delay. You can do it. Come on, just slam the X button. There's no skill in this game. I'm just kidding. Not this
try.
level. Later levels, yes. But
But people can still see us and
I
hear
think
us.
I'm dead.
Apparently, yeah, I think so. It's so weird.
Oh, I'm still alive.
Yeah, you got
How do we
this,
use
dude.
potions
All right,
again?
just think 6 seconds ahead, Steve.
Oh God! No!
Don't even go that
Direction. Just stop
This is
moving.
far more entertaining.
Stop moving and get
your bearings.
Just get in the center of the room.
Yeah,
There you go.
there you go.
Don't
Teleport
dart.
that.
We're
Don't
gonna
dart.
blindfold Steve. Who's the fourth?
How do I use potions again?
Left on the D-pad.
For the record, there's
I think this
a
is the best way
really
to
long
play.
delay.
This is a new mode they added. There's a 6-second delay.
It's
It's
a
like
psychic
called lag
mode.
play.
Like that.
All right.
This is actually a Twitch plays. It's not Steve playing. This is the Twitch community at large is doing better playing Darksiders than Steve right now.
As you can tell, we're old pros at Twitch. Like this.
Yeah, this is we're super late. This is not our first Twitch stream. It's our second.
Yeah.
First
So
one
what's
was
your
terrible.
what's your excuse? 2 Twitch streams later should be pros.
Yeah, it really should be.
I was thinking if this went smoothly, we'd do one, but
See, it's
No
good
way.
work.
Blame these guys.
You gotta play with a 6-second delay.
Not gonna happen.
Yeah, I don't know.
Are they
It's-
watching me?
Yeah,
Ooh,
finally.
can you do
Yeah.
picture on that TV? Hey, give me the remote.
I can hear us yelling
Somewhere.
through
Yeah.
the screens in the laptop.
Laughing at your 6-second. Yeah, come on, you can go that over the 6-second delay.
Or can you just run the game in window mode next to the?
Let's open it up to questions.
Oh, you're playing on PS4, sorry.
It's on the PS4.
Yeah, gotcha.
Whatever. The game looks amazing. Okay, it's better than it's ever been. Check it out.
I got
I'm
this.
gonna see this. Whoa.
All right.
Go, Steve.
not only delay, but also a TV menu screen in front.
I don't think they're seeing that. I don't think they get to see that.
No, they don't get to see that.
No,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
This is like Twitch plays Darksiders.
This is like a bunch of old men that have no idea how to Twitch.
Can't even open the door.
There we go.
You remember when picture-in-picture was such a big deal? There was the button.
Yeah, there was
on
like a
for
picture-in-picture
because that was like the bomb if you had.
Yeah, maybe this should have. We added. We actually added definitive. We added definitive difficulty, which is actually harder than apocalyptic.
Is that what this delay is?
But I'm thinking that would have been better if we just delayed the game by 6 seconds like this. That would have been the true definitive difficulty.
Oh, let's see.
I'm getting used to it now.
Couldn't find picture.
Count the steps.
I guess
Just
we
need
can go
a,
through.
just a monitor to put
Yeah.
this in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll see. Yeah.
Steve, you got this.
That's it? No other questions?
Let's see. All right. Yeah. Let's see
They
questions.
all laughing. They
Literally
realize
answer
that this is
anything.
delay,
Like the
right?
most intimate of details. Go.
All right.
I'm ready.
Giving it all up. Any news on Darksiders 3?
Yeah, nope.
No.
That's a valid answer to that question.
Oh God. So interesting.
That'll be a good question for Nordic when they do their.
For the
own
record, that
Twitch.
question came in before the delay, so they didn't know I said I would answer any questions.
It's true.
I was asked what my go-to is when I'm on
Yeah.
the pooper. And I'm reading. That was the question.
Oh, reading or get playing?
Reading. Yeah, reading.
What was the
Are
answer?
they making fun of me
You'll have
opening
to
a
check
door?
it out.
Not yet.
Did you say
got
Reddit?
there?
Yeah.
I guess you didn't get there.
Oh yeah, we have to go on Reddit.
We say with 3 days left in the campaign.
Wait, can we hook it up to a monitor?
We could.
Isn't that what Jeremy was trying to get
I
with?
just make sure that's impossible.
Oh man.
I don't know why it's.
This is painful, Steve.
Just stop. Just stop. It's better to just stand there.
I'm gonna win this.
Oh
fight.
god. Just wait.
You
Focus.
can't win this
Just
fight.
focus, dude.
Just button
Yeah, you can.
Just get in the middle and keep
See,
swinging.
that guy needs like a 6-second windup to his attack, and then he could actually dodge him.
Yeah, just preemptively dodge. Attack, dodge, attack.
That actually might work.
Yeah.
Use some teleport dash. Dude, you're kicking butt, Steve. This
Like
is
a pro.
playing with a 6-second delay for the record.
I'm not doing too many dashes in there.
You
I should be up to where I'm now.
You gotta be able to see through the matrix.
Yeah, sorry. We don't. I'm sorry. I don't read Russian. I don't know. Does anybody in the room read Russian? We've got some questions in Russian.
Google Translate it.
If somebody can
Get
translate
out
it,
your
I'll try.
and paste
augmented
it
reality app and.
All right. Let's just go ahead and see if this works.
Wait, are you really gonna type
But
it
if you
in?
use Google Translate, we're
Oh,
going to
I
read
died?
it as exactly how
Alright,
it
well,
is.
yeah,
Alright, let me try. I gotta try the
I was
6-second
doing.
delay.
What's
you'll,
that?
you'll see.
I wanna see what this is all about.
I bet it takes you 3 tries to turn the first corner. Took a while.
Just to turn a corner?
Yeah.
See, that's...
All right. So that translated to Darksiders. Download 3, free SMS registration? I guess that's a question. So what are your thoughts on that, Dave?
Yes. Next question.
Is there
I will translate.
I plead the fifth? I don't know what This is definitely an interesting challenge.
We got our pro awesome audio director. He's going to figure this out.
It's going to be amazing.
If you want to do it out from this.
All right. I'm focused.
Yeah,
That took a
step
second.
one.
I'm surprised
Yeah,
as far as you did, Steve. You're like, moving it and sticking over, right?
This and going through.
See, I killed that guy. One guy at a time, man. Just back away.
I softened him up for you.
Back away clean. Right, go in. Dash, back. Chow! Sideways dash. Little heavy action. Well, Bob, got greedy. Get out of there. Get out of there. Get out of there. Oh, no, that was perfect. This one.
It's the, man, that's, you got to use the Dark Souls lesson. Can't get greedy.
Yeah, that's true.
Can't get greedy.
This is an interesting challenge, actually. Oh, that's wrong.
Figure out.
So they're seeing the picture, but not getting the audio, or
Well, the picture seems to work as long as we don't do the switch over to that.
No, yeah, they're getting everything when we're in this mode. It's just when we go to that.
Wait till a stalker hits you
For us, they
with
lose
one
the
shot.
video for some reason.
Get out of there. Get out of there. Get out of there. Get out of there. 6 seconds later. Preemptively heal. Alright, cool.
All right, I guess.
Also, I couldn't figure out. I didn't use a potion.
All right, that didn't turn anything off, right?
Oh, yeah. That killed
Yeah.
it. You failed to become auto within 500 milliseconds. What? You just killed it. That's right. They're gonna see. I will have that just for the record. I just want it on the record that I was totally gonna win that fight with a 6-second delay.
I'm actually watching how you did now on the delay.
It's pretty good, right?
Yeah, it's not bad.
Oh,
You just kill it,
Yeah.
oh, you want to restart it?
Okay. Yeah. How do I do that?
If you restart it with the monitor hooked up, will that maybe?
It might help,
I'll wait till that monitor's it up.
or not.
Psych!
This is going as about as well as I expected.
Here,
So
I'll
this is
tweet
good.
everyone to get their questions.
No questions?
Let's see. All right, from Zerafoot. Guys, do you have any idea at the moment how does the other chaos form from the 2 remaining horsemen would have looked like? That's a good one. What would Fear and Strife's chaos forms look like?
Well, Strife's like a rogue, so.
Yeah. So what would they?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, Joe,
No
what would
idea.
they look like?
Strived up into some like shadowy.
I don't come up with ideas unless you pay me. So
He's just turned into a shadowy ink monster guy.
Something with like a big
He jumps around, pulls dudes
yeah.
away.
So Fury's like a mage type, and Strife would be like some shadowy.
One of these monitors.
I always imagine Fury turning into like an elemental, like some sort of elemental. I don't know what her elemental power
Orgo's
is.
in there
Some
too.
giant vortex of energy.
That'd be cool. I don't know why I just picture something that resembles the Watchers for Strifes.
Yeah, I can see that.
Like
Like a gun.
shadowy.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Shadowy
Some
guy.
sort of shadowy, like wispy guy, move lightning fast and just.
A lot of times
Death
though, I
blossom.
honestly don't know until I start drawing, and then it kind of just goes from there. Sometimes I'll have a really cool idea that I can't execute when I start drawing, and then sometimes I'll just come up with something from like a failed drawing, and I'll just evolve into something else.
Well, a lot of times too, what we did. I mean, I think both the chaos forms were like the design was driven by the art too. I mean, we tend to do that with a lot of creatures, where we just draw a creature that looks awesome.
Like, whoa, that looks sweet. Let's
What
do
the hell
that.
is this guy do?
All right, can you play there? There's no delay.
Yeah, this is perfect. Death was the easiest, right? It's like he's the Grim Reaper.
Yeah, it's the Grim Reaper. Yeah, definitely super.
All right, I think we're good to go now, guys. So let us know.
Do you want revenge on this fight, Steve?
Sure.
No delay? I mean, some people need no delay, that's cool.
I got a question from Nephilim Connor. How hard is the new difficulty level compared to Apocalyptic? I can't remember where we ended up.
Like really fucking hard.
Yes.
Like, I don't recommend playing it unless you just want to get.
It's
Like
definitely a new
Steve.
game plus mode. Like you'll probably want to be leveled up. I don't even know if it's unlocked right away. I think it's unlocked afterwards, isn't it? Isn't that how Apocalyptic was? Or could you start Apocalyptic from the beginning?
I mean, we just figured it was one of those things for. It's kind of just a treat for people that have already played the game and beaten it on the hardest difficulty level. So we wanted to make sure it was an ample challenge. Plus, there's hardest and what's it called? Where you can only die once.
Nightmare.
And then delete your save game on.
Yes, there's that. And that's on the hardest difficulty and it deletes your save. So yeah.
Wait, you got hardcore mode?
What's that? Yeah, there was an hardcore mode in DS2.
Oh, was there?
Yeah.
I'm not a
totally
hard
forgot
gamer.
that too.
I'm not a hard. Really?
Yeah, John told me. I'm like, what? No, we put that in there. Yeah,
We had hardcore mode?
Yeah, it was funny because somebody suggested that when we started working on this, and we're like, "That's ridiculous."
I
Who
remember
would want
talking
that?
about it.
And then we actually should put.
We talked about it as far back as Darksiders 1. We talked about doing
What's
that.
the new one's Definitive, right?
Crazy.
That's the name of the difficulty.
That's the
The
new difficulty.
definitive
That's
difficulty.
above
That is the hardcore
apocalyptic.
mode?
That, you can play Definitive normal. You can
Yes.
also, but the hardcore mode is Definitive difficulty level.
Jeez.
So it's
So
crazy.
you'll definitely die.
Yes.
Definitely.
Patent pending.
Who came up with that? Who came up with the definitive thing?
Nordic.
That was Nordic.
It's Captain.
I believe you
Yes.
met the gentleman.
I guess
It's
it's.
Nordic.
It makes it unique. Here's some more questions from Verona Fire. What are Strife and Fury's horses' named? That's a good
Oh
one, too.
dang! Yeah, we never got that far, man. Miss. Yeah, it's actually that is a good question. I mean, a lot of this stuff. A lot of times when you're developing games, you'll write a little bit more than what you need for the game, but not much. So a lot of it is like by the seat of your pants. Stuff is happening, levels are changing or getting cut, or characters are added.
You gotta walk
That
all
thing
over.
Gonna blame the lag again,
Come-
Steve?
No,
There's no lag, by the way. That was just
I was
your
coming out of my.
It does look like there's some.
I was
Yeah, I don't
coming
think
out of
like,
Stairs there.
I don't
Yeah,
think
don't
we,
watch the TV. Watch the monitor.
we didn't come up with Despair until partway into Darksiders 2.
Yeah,
But both of them, you see, it'd have to be something because the names are almost all like War and Ruin,
Yeah,
Death
true.
and Despair. Like what is Strife and
Fury and Wrath.
I don't know.
yeah.
Remember where it's Wrath.
I'll just worry about what they look like. You guys can.
Got another question from Grindam. Since the game was planned as a trilogy, would the final game include both Fury and Strife as playable characters?
We actually, we toyed with both. Like at one point, we joked, "Hey, we'll just do one for every horseman, and then do the big one with all four." And we kind of vacillated between that, and the third one would be all four. So
Yeah, because then the problem with doing 4 individual games, then you get like fatigue on the franchise by the time.
There'd be
you get to
5 because the 5th one has them all together.
that's true. Yeah.
Right.
No, the 5th one is when we reveal the 5th horseman, which is Samael, is actually the 5th horseman, and yeah, then Dark.
I mean, the
Souls 6.
original concept for the game was 4-player co-op with all the 4 horsemen in the first game. But
It was completely feasible.
we were
New
Yeah,
new
probably
team,
would have been a little more than we.
4
could handle
guys
at that
going
time.
to big publishers, going, we can totally make this game.
You gotta go up that wall
Oh,
back
wait.
there.
That's right.
You see that? You gotta go
Wall
left
climb.
instead of right.
And Darkblade asks, can you tell us about the gameplay changes regarding the balance and the loot distribution? Can you give any good examples? Just on a little bit earlier.
No, Steve.
Hold on, I'm gonna get
It's the lag.
I'm gonna get the relish thing.
The big one was we reintegrated in all the DLC that was previously you get the DLC for pre-ordering or for playing Darksiders 1 or many other ways you get it, and most of those items were level 5, so that meant you didn't really get a chance to try all of them because you usually out-leveled them pretty quickly. So we went through and found boss fights throughout the game that didn't have a specific unique loot drop. They just dropped normal loot,
Nice.
and we applied it to them. The Lasher, the first major boss, I think that's the first major boss in Z2, the guy with the skull. He didn't have actual unique loot, now he
Is
does.
that his name? Sure.
I can't remember what his name
He
is.
was the cool guy where his head came out of his body and his spine fought like a snake.
Oh, that was one of my favorite fights.
Yeah, I think the other thing too was just
No, I
like,
thought he was the bone guy.
I think it was Nashor. We call him
Nashor,
that guy.
yeah.
You gotta remember the names that actually with the game or not.
Oh yeah, well
Yeah.
actually I spent some time this morning before we did this. I was trying to remember the real names for things and I couldn't remember.
Yeah,
one
it's
second,
hard.
except the cauldron and what was
all.
what's Z1 LD the forge?
Is that the Forge?
No, the forge is in town, right?
Yeah.
What was
I
Z1
don't know.
LD?
That's
Yeah.
C1LD. That's the main dungeon. that
Things
lasts
got
us all-
renamed very, very often.
Yes.
throughout
Wait, the drowned fort, Drench Fort.
Transport, that was a side dungeon.
That's the second.
That's
That's Z1MD2.
Z1MD2.
And then the Lost Temple is Z1MD3. I don't remember what the fourth one is. But the other answer to that question is, I think for the balance, it was. I mean, it's hard to give a
Foundry.
specific example. Yeah, it was the Foundry. That's good. Because I mean, the reality is, when we finished the game, I remember just tweaking the numbers the day before we submitted.
No, we don't do that.
To submission. I mean, months before, also known as days. But anyway, the point is, I mean, a game this big, we didn't really have a ton of time to do a lot of that little fine level polish. I mean, we did some usability testing. So I think for the Deathinitive Edition, it was more of a fact that, hey, we actually have time now to sit down with the game and play it and tweak, just make the experience a little more even, so there's not weird spikes in difficulties or weird lulls where it gets super easy. There's not like a hard answer.
Yeah. Slugmatic wonders, would Joe be willing to co-work with Nordic Games if they started Darksiders 3 project?
We still have a great relationship with those guys, and obviously right now we're pretty tied up on Battle Chasers, so I don't really see that happening in the near future. But I definitely wouldn't rule it out. It would really depend on where we're at in development on Battle Chasers and how much time I have available and how much help they need. I mean, obviously I still love the characters in the world. I know a lot of fans ask me about it all the time, so it would be interesting. I'm open to having that discussion, but there's no current plans for it.
So I have a question, just because working with you and knowing, like, at the trade shows and everything we'd ever go to, it was always, when are you going to finish Battle Chasers? So is it flip-flopped, and now when are you going to finish Darksiders?
That's exactly what happened now. We'll explain it a million times, like, well, Vigil's no more, Nordic owns it, it's not up to us, and it's like people just choose not to accept that answer because they just keep asking over and over.
They love it,
dude.
That's why we love our fans. So.
Yeah. Yeah, I appreciate the passionate fans.
Yeah.
Darksiders is close, I think, to everybody's heart in this room.
I want to play Darksiders 3.
I do too.
Yeah, I want to play Darksiders 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nordic's cool though. I mean, we were really excited when they were cool with us putting Chaos Eater in Battle Chasers for it's something that all of our backers on Kickstarter will get if they back us now. You only get it from Kickstarter, but when we saw Garrison holding Chaos Eater in the game, that was pretty cool.
What about a war skin for Garrison? No, I'm just kidding. Let's just announce Darksiders 3 right now, and Sparta can figure it out. Budget to be determined, release date to be determined. Sorry, guys.
Got STM show. This is a good question for Dave. Was it ever a stretch to hope for 60 FPS on the PS4? Did we ever develop the game at 60 FPS, or was it always the goal set to 30?
We certainly tried, and the sad part is a large part of the game does run at 60 FPS on the PS4. I think for us there were a couple issues. The engine was just never really built for that level of frame rate, and it's not really doesn't really have to do with the graphics as much as that when you go to 60 FPS, everything has to be super optimized. And for the Deathinitive Edition, we had a pretty small team in a relatively short amount of time. We only had 4 people on it, and that's everybody. That's including engineers, everything. So we did the best we could. We made it look good, and it's definitely a rock solid 30 frames per second. Best answer I could give.
Seven asks, are there any extra side missions in the game? No, we didn't actually add any new content to the game, but again, with the DLC that a lot of it was distributed. Sorry, with different
Distributed.
That's what I'm trying to get at. It was a lot of it was there was some actual missions that were pre-order bonuses. So we have reintegrated those back in, and because they were pre-ordered bonuses, they actually gave very little XP. So what we did was, because it wouldn't be fair for somebody who pre-ordered at one store versus another to get them to be much higher level because of a mission that was DLC compared to what other people experienced. So we actually reintegrated all those. Those are all in there now, and we balanced them relative to the XP level of the quest level.
It's cool that they're in there too, because the DLC stuff, because there was some really cool stuff buried in some of those.
Yeah, the DLCs. There's some cool dungeons in the DLC. It's better integrated. It's not like 100% integrated in the game, but it's definitely better integrated.
Is it still something that you play at any level, or are they?
No, they unlock at certain points in the game, so it kind of matches your flow of what you've learned to do at that point. So if the DLC requires you to use the portal gun instance, then or Voidwalker,
right?
The what?
It's not a portal gun.
Leave it out. That's what the delay is for.
Yeah, that'll unlock after you unlock the Voidwalker, which is a wholly owned and original idea.
The portal gun or the boomerang. I mean, the crossblade.
Steve, is that? Sorry, Steve.
No worries.
Texas in white. I'm having heard. Xzevos asked, will you add Wicked Killington in this game? No. Unfortunately, we couldn't add any more, though he is a personal favorite.
Isn't he the fifth horseman?
He's the ultimate boss. I remember joking about that late at night. We talk about it and say, like, you know what, it's this game, it's Abaddon, and then it's oh my god, I can't remember who's the boss at the end of this.
Lucifer?
Well, no, he was the third,
Absalom.
and then it was like Absalom, and then the fourth one, it would turn out it was Wicked Killington controlling the whole thing.
Absalomi.
Not to imply Lucifer's a boss, or was there intended as being the final boss of the series?
It's the
And for those of you who don't know,
voice
Wicked Killington is at the end of the Crucible.
Have
You
we
just
ever
gotta get
actually
all the way
confirmed
to
that
the
Wicked
Crucible
K
escape.
is Wicked K,
I mean,
right?
Wicked A.
But
For legal reasons, we couldn't call him Wicked Killington, so that's clearly not his name.
Yes, I don't know who that is. That-
Killington was always the intended name for him. He is
Yes.
a bit of a Buzz Killington.
What else, Bill?
Ington.
Let's see. I saw a question that just went by.
Actually,
Can
technically, we can't
you
get
back
him for
$1 to get the Chaos
Yeah, right.
Edition? And then when you bought the game, you get it when you basically buy the game. So will the $1 will that get you an unlock code for the Chaos Eater because he's short on money?
Yes.
Yeah, I think I think
Anybody?
we did decide to do that.
Yep.
Okay.
If
You'll get
if
the
you back
entitlement.
now and you end up you can't afford the full thing now and you buy the game later, but if we have you in the system as a Kickstarter backer, you'll get Chaos Eater.
Great.
But on the honor system, you better buy it later. I guess you would
Actually,
really be able
what
to
is
do
it?
What did
it.
you do? I've got this code.
Actually, yeah. Don't
We're gonna digitally shred your code if you don't buy the
Print
game
the
later.
code out and frame it.
Fine, there you go.
It auto deletes
Like a
from
picture
your
of Joe Mad
computer.
next to it.
Sognight asks, does the make of Darksiders 3 depend on the player's response to this edition? I don't think so. This was
Is there an interaction
Couldn't hurt.
with this guy when he's
Yeah.
done his
Sorry,
knee?
I would definitely recommend buying the game if you want to increase the odds. But yeah,
Yes.
I think Nordic seems
There is?
pretty committed to Darksiders.
maybe not.
So.
No, I think it
Or
was
would you,
killed.
like, go-
I would be shocked
Am I
if they
supposed
let
to
it
have
die
anything here?
They're so committed,
I
they're just
remember
going straight to
shooting
Darksiders 4.
back in the day.
Really?
Just gonna skip
What was
that.
saved?
Hey, Steve, play quietly, okay? We're answering questions here. Talking over us.
Was there interactive with him? Remember there being something.
It will
with
when
him?
you kill him. Just gotta beat him. There's no like it
No, when
just
he's down
triggers
there.
automatically at the end when you.
Remember he teleports you to the middle of the room? So
Yeah, didn't you work on this game, Steve?
you probably did the interactive.
Alcor asks, are there any new weapons or armor sets? Is there a new
I'm trying to
And
see
their new end, sorry. No, again, there's no new weapons, but it is a reintegration of all the weapons that were DLC, so a lot of times players probably didn't see those.
Yeah, I think the point that John made is like most of that DLC weapons were worthless because you would get them after they were good to you and you would never wear them. So at least now they're like appropriately leveled. So when you get these awesome armor sets, you'll actually want to wear them because their stats don't suck. What they did.
Yeah, a lot of them were level 5.
You
so.
get them at like level 10 and you're level, or you get them level 10 and they're level 5 armor. You're never gonna wear that crap.
Yep.
Come on, I'm just an accent here. I don't care how it looks.
It's like the WoW quests.
Now to look good and play good.
Should we skip
sorry.
into a dungeon or something?
Yeah, you want to jump?
Yeah, let's jump around.
All right. Any
Steve,
requests in
jump
the
up
room?
and get down.
We can't give Steve the pleasure of completing
Jump
a
in.
dungeon.
Take it away from him. Run, Steve.
Don't
Oh,
let him
Finish.
All right.
No, no, it's
What do we
fine.
want to go to? What's
I don't know,
cool?
C2MD1, maybe?
Steve's having so much fun.
Yeah.
All right. Well, after the cinema, we'll cut to a new dungeon.
C2MD1's pretty cool. Or
Okay.
what were some of the cutscenes? Could do the infamous boat traversal.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it does look pretty good now. I looked good before too.
Do you want to do MD or C2, MD, or LD1? Or LD? What are we thinking?
I mean, MD1 was pretty cool.
First choice.
Where do you-
Somewhere right now, Sam Gage is rolling in his grave going, those effects aren't gamma corrupting. Come on, you know you are, Sam.
Not in the grave, hopefully. But
Yeah.
Not.
That's like a virtual grave, not a real grave.
Let's do MD1.
Yeah,
Z2 MD1. See the.
Alright, sorry, Steve.
Z2, MD1 or LD?
Yeah, MD1, just do that.
Maybe.
I still find the sound
Yeah,
is
no.
incredible in these games. Jeremy, is there anything you'd
Joe?
like to say about the sound?
All right.
What about Michael
So you can do a
Wincott?
debug save.
Awesome voice.
You see
He
behind
has
the
awesome
curtain
voice
right
acting.
now. This is our lead tools. Yeah, it's gonna be in order. So Z2.
I kind of want to see.
What
If you put in XX, triangle, square, left stick, circle, right bumper, left bumper, XX, circle, X, circle, left stick, right stick, you get this menu.
Yep.
Can you repeat
What?
that?
Is that?
Oh, you should have said that. I would have tried it.
That's the
Well, no, that's, but I don't know if that one actually
again.
works.
I thought you were recalling that too. I believed you.
It's authentic.
Yeah, yeah, it was.
But you actually have to be you have to be swinging the controller on.
Motion account into. Man, that's like a whole new level of
You like
secret.
Z1. Sorry, Z1 is such a.
That'd be terrible.
And you actually have the pantomime.
That beats the
basic part.
Konami. That's way harder than the Konami code.
LD begin.
You have to pull out your PlayStation Move.
Look at that, unlocking trophies.
We should have done the Eternal Throne so we could have seen the Bone Throne.
Oh, here's another good question from Verona Fire.
Bone Throne.
Is the DLC considered canon to the story, or is it just some non-canon side story?
It's all canon. Right?
Yeah, why wouldn't it be? Sure.
I mean, DLC was kind of like, hey, let's try to explore some of the little side stories that were going on during the main quest. So it just gives you cool context to the rest of the world.
Yep.
And
What about the novels? Canon or not canon? It's like Star Wars.
I mean, we did approve it, so it's
No longer
technically
canon.
No, just kidding.
what about the
Yeah,
comics?
that's true.
Just to cause controversy, you're going to decanonize the novels.
Non-canon.
Darksiders world's gotten too big. We have to start
Yeah.
pulling
It's
the canon
not.
out.
It's not for us to say anymore.
That's true.
Honestly, so Nordic can read through it all and be like, man,
We'll
this
just
is crap.
we'll let Nordic know what decisions we made today. In this stream.
Yeah, someone's putting this all
They're
together.
probably listening.
Yeah, someone's watching, I'm sure.
Sorry, Nordic.
They're like, no, the novels are terrible. No, they're not terrible, actually. Sorry,
They're
Ari.
cool.
I think that's it was decent. I actually read it. After I read it internally. I read it like 3 months ago. I was like, this is
After it was approved, I decided to give it a read.
I read through it before it was approved. I just never read it as a consumer before.
Maybe it's a bad idea to do these. We need a
These are great.
go off.
By the way, this is
Yeah,
actually what
Harry.
all the run-throughs of Darksiders were like in development too.
Yep.
Except they're much cleaner, probably.
This
Yes.
is also
We
the
dropped a
beauty-
few swear words.
This is also the beauty of being two independent studios. We can just say whatever the hell we want.
Yeah, sure.
There's no one to tell us no.
Yeah, neither studio has a PR department.
That's for damn sure.
Another question. This is a quick one. I can answer this. Noble. I'm sorry, I'm butchering names. I'm terrible with your names.
They're usually written to
Novelty.
be readable. NMXL 23 says.
But will the art contest weapons be in there too? Yes, they will. I consider those part of their DLC when I mentioned that earlier. No, they've been distributed throughout the world as well. Same thing with all the armor sets that are
Yeah, this
distributed
guy's
too.
It's kind of awesome. There are definitely creatures in a game like this that were inspired by Dark Souls. Just the
Come
way
on,
you
Steve,
fight
dodge
them.
around and hit him in the butt just like Dark Souls. That's how you gotta do it.
Yeah, I mean, even towards the end, some of the environment, the level design started to
Yep.
Dark Souls informed a little. Some of mainly the dungeons that are like the connective tissue between the big ones, which we made a little more open-ended and a little more exploratory than some of the big dungeons, which are very puzzle-centric.
I got another question. Could there be a Darksiders spin-off game, which, of course, nobody in this room can control that, but I'm going to throw this out. What would be your ideal Darksiders spin-off game? The Hunter.
Oh, like a total spin-off. Can't even feature the main characters? No.
They could be, how about this? They could be, like, supporting characters.
Whole thing.
All right.
That'd be awesome.
Well, they would be cool. We talked at one point about telling the story of what the humans were doing during the apocalypse and what it was like to be a human while all the shit was hitting the fan. I think that would be cool. I mean, as just a complete departure from what Darksiders is as a game, it would be really fun to tell a different kind of story that way.
What if you're the Watcher?
Being a watcher, and you have to follow horsemen around, and it's just a big dialogue tree game where you just kind of annoy the horsemen as much as you can.
You gotta wait for him to press the button to summon you for inside. And then you're just all snarky, like, figure it out, you fool! And then you go back in his glove.
But when you do tell them where to go, they still don't go that direction. And then they summon you again later because they still don't know what to do.
What if you play as Ruin and you're like the steeds? You have to get them to ride on you.
It should be like goats.
Get on!
Dude, just be like going around doing
No, it would just be a black screen until you get
Well,
summoned.
then you'll find out where he is when he's not being summoned. That'd be the most interesting thing. He's just in a black room. It's just completely dark. He's sitting there waiting.
It's some petting zoo.
It's
like,
locked.
ow, ow. It's
he's
the worst petting zoo ever.
It's just down in the abyssal plains, running free.
It's just running free.
He's actually having fun when he's not summoned. He gets pissed. He's like, God damn it.
God damn it.
Okay, can I just say one of my hopes here
Alright.
for Nordic and the franchise? There has to be a movie. Like, people ask me about it a lot, and when Digic did the amazing cutscenes, like,
That was pretty awesome.
it really is shocking because, like, superhero, it's like a little Avengers, a little Lord of the Rings, a little, like, disaster film. It's like everything that's hot, and it's like somehow not made it into Hollywood. It's got to be a freaking movie. Somebody do this.
That's a little Lord of you said Game of Thrones, all the backstabbing,
Yeah,
all
those
the
the
conspiracies.
Digic cinematics were amazing.
Yes.
Yeah, I would just make the whole movie. Just do the same thing, Digic, right now. We're announcing that right now.
Digic and Nordic partnership.
One fan said something interesting. It was about Battle Chasers, but it certainly applies to Darksiders too. Can you please make some of your characters a little easier to cosplay? Imagine how much cool Darksiders and Battle Chasers cosplay there would be.
I like the one concept, the one comment on War's design that the concept artist started drawing and
The
never
escapist.
stopped. Oops. There's like faces within faces on every weapon and armor set.
We'll just pick a part.
Faces are cool.
Pick a part of the body and cosplay that. Be like, I'll be his glove. Like if you really want a simple
What you gotta
cosplay, I'll be his mask.
And then you can, a bunch of cosplayers can form up into one like culture. I'll be the shoulder.
Aftermather asks, have you guys seen the Darksiders 2 speedruns?
Yes. those
Oh,
are
those,
awesome.
yeah, speedruns are.
You'll happy to know we didn't fix any of the glitches that
Yes.
allowed those to
How do we
happen.
get out of my
We had a debate about it because we thought about fixing them so people would have to
But
find
you hit it again.
new glitches, but
The crossblade cancel bug in Darksiders 1. I still remember the first time we found that on Darksiders 1. Of course, by the time people were using cheats to get through Darksiders 2, we were used to it from Darksiders 1. They did like the double jump dash, crossblade, dash, crossblade. You have to just hop out of the level. And some of the more dedicated guys figured out they could use that to fly up under parts of the level, find a chest, and interact with the chest to pull them back through the level geo.
I never
back into
saw
the
it.
level.
That's amazing.
yeah, isn't the one in here teleport dash? Isn't that what it? What's the like big glitch one in Dark Souls?
It's like it's like you just do this thing where you keep doing moves and he basically goes up outside of the world and you basically float up over all of the geometry to the tree of life or death.
What I want is how you discover that, like just the sheer dedication to discovering glitch.
I think you know you've made a good game if people play it long enough to discover those bitches.
True.
That's our takeaway anyway.
That's what we tell ourselves.
Yeah, that's how you live with it.
I got another question. I don't want to be annoying, but I would really like to know if you are allowed to reveal the PC release date. No, info on that should be coming shortly. It's currently sometime in November is what Nordic has said. I'm sure they'll narrow it down to a date and have something to release date-wise soon. Velociraptor says...
Velociraptor.
Is it philosophy?
We're getting comments from the internet
Velociraptor.
memes.
How's the Crucible now?
He came up with the definitive. I still Velociraptor.
How's the Crucible now? It's still the same. It's we actually didn't balance it. It felt pretty good before, so we kind of left that one as is.
I think Steve's actually having to figure it out right now too.
I am.
It's been so long since we played this game.
Like 2 years.
Speaking of the comics, here's a good question from Velociraptor. Is the Horsemaster from the comics a human?
Of
was the
course
question?
not. No.
Is he Nephilim?
He doesn't remember who the Horsemaster was. Come on.
No, I do. I mean,
Oh,
that was one of those characters that we
that's-
weren't even ready to like delve into that, and like they were like kind of ahead of us on the development of that, so we had to like kind of
Oh, that's the guy that.
hash it back. Yeah, that's the guy you have to like. First, you go and like pick out your horse, and it gets in the Abyssal Plains actually, and then the Horsemaster is definitely not a human. I don't think we ever revealed what he is exactly. But
There aren't really any. I mean, other like.
Huh? You have to split up.
For the most part, in the mythos,
split
no
up
one's
top,
human
yeah.
except like all the humans were isolated on Earth in their own little bubble of lack of knowledge and information. So.
Yeah, put it out there. and
He's
just
definitely not a human.
Push the stone guy through.
Oh, this one. Oh man.
Yeah, drag it, bring it back in the room, split on it.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's a little pedantic.
Split on it. Orville wants to know, has Kargon become the ultimate boss in the Crucible? No, he's still there just to set you up. But I don't know, is there any info on Kargon and his backstory? Is he an angel?
Kargon? Nah, he's just. I mean, there's like a ton of different worlds with all kinds of different characters, like the makers and stuff on it. He's just from one of those
Yeah,
worlds.
the old ones.
Yeah.
Do you want to reveal his true origin?
Kargan K.
No, like
Yeah,
where that model came from?
Oh, Kargon? Where did it come from? I forget.
That was.
I don't know. Spoiler alert.
That was
Originally, we were
remember,
doing.
dude, that was originally not a enemy model. Light and dark.
What? Yeah, I don't care. Just-
Okay.
Yeah,
CHQ's on the phone right now.
wink, wink.
Shut this down. Originally, we had
Because
planned.
Nick, who would not have even known that original story, maybe plan to use it.
Originally, we had planned on doing a angel form and a death form for death. That was really early on, so we made that. That was the
Oh, yeah,
light
that's
version.
right.
Yeah, the
Or I'm
light
not
and dark
sorry,
side.
not
Totally
angel
forgot
death, but a light and a dark version. He was the light version.
Yeah, you could have life and death powers that you could.
Yeah,
toggle
life
between.
and death,
And so you'd have a
Okay.
life.
I was like
Have it
angel.
for him and
wait.
Yeah,
death
he was
power.
light.
And the skill trees were based on life and death.
Yeah, that was a really cool idea.
Yep. Probably would have been the harder one. Probably could have finished that.
Probably.
Just cut one or two.
Sure, throw another game mechanic in there. What the hell?
Yeah, wasn't there something
That's
where?
game
Yeah.
mechanics between friends?
Well, wait till he bust out his super traversal form.
Yeah.
His super form just lets him do epic.
Yeah, we should talk about all the gadgets that we didn't put in the game.
Oh, momentum run.
Yeah.
Wasn't there something in the skill tree where like you could flip, like each like
That was
light
life
had
and
a
death,
dark
yeah.
Yeah.
ability, and then you like.
So you had to look
flip
at
them
both sides to see which one. you
Yeah,
wanted.
yeah.
That was we should go another level. This beginning of this level is boring.
All right.
Sorry.
We got a request earlier for some
It gets better.
DLC. Let's do some
I thought we were
DLC.
doing MD one.
Let's jump to a DLC.
Yeah,
There's no
MD1's
debug saves.
Oh yeah, you can do a DLC.
There's no debug saves for that though, so you'll be going in.
I just said do the beginning of Z1, dude. That's awesome. With the boat thing.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Just go Z2 begin.
Z2 begin.
This is how we test the game. These are debug saves.
We get to see the bone throne.
Are these debug saves?
Bone
No, he's just
throw.
loading them out.
Yeah,
Here,
these are
hit B.
debug
Hit
saves.
B.
Huh?
B. Go to debug saves.
Oh yeah.
That wasn't the bug saves.
No, you weren't.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
were
it
you?
was.
Alright, alright, fine.
What are you looking for? Z2 LD one? No, we were in there.
There should be a Z2 begin.
Oh.
Or start, or something like that.
Well, there it is, right there.
Right there. Oh.
Oh,
Oh, nope, that's Z1 MB3 again.
It's
Never mind.
like
I
you're
just
in
saw
Keep
it.
going down.
oh.
You can go faster if you hold the R right bumper.
Yeah, remember, if you know that code again, you really remember that, because that's going to help you get around in this menu faster.
Go up because it'll wrap.
Apparently there isn't. There's definitely one, I just don't know what it's called. I just
Is it MD1?
No, there's one just right at the beginning of the zone.
You can try MD1.
Z2 OS1
Begin.
would just be OS1.
Which one?
Go up.
I don't know. Just use the T to MD1. That's
Just
fine.
just do MD1. Z2 to MD1.
First.
Begin is at the bottom right there. If you want to do Z2 MB1.
Yeah.
Alright.
In case you're wondering what all that lingo means, the Z is the zone, and then we originally had 3 dungeon types: small dungeons, medium dungeons, large dungeon, SD, MD, LD, and then I think we eventually cut back a number of SDs just because we realized we were batshit crazy for trying to make so many dungeons. And so we ended up mainly with
And then we
MDs and
a ton of
LDs.
dungeons anyway.
Yeah, then we ended up actually, we took some of the small dungeons we had in development and broke them up into a bunch of the little like traversal vignettes that we sprinkled around the world.
STDs.
Yes.
Spread them around the world.
Standard dungeons, STD.
Well, it's really like playing one dungeon and the other dungeon's kind of
Yeah.
apple and apple.
If you go into one dungeon, you end up.
And you never know.
Yeah.
Look how beautiful.
You never know where
People
that's
noticed there was a debug save called Stupid Crow. That was.
People notice that.
I actually thought about that.
Very observant.
Hey,
Yeah.
look, this is actually gold now.
That looks dope.
This is the Gilded Arena.
The
but
Gilded, yeah, it was
none of
never
it
had
looked
gold.
before.
It's just always stone.
I was like, isn't Gilded like covered in gold? But it's not gold. Whatever.
Okor wants to know about
Good old Michael
the Nomad
Jackson.
sites. How did you come up with those? Wasn't that
That was
Ben
Yeah,
Lewis?
Lewis.
That was
Was big into gnomes.
Yeah.
It came from the
The
creative weapon
traversal.
contest.
Yeah.
He said he wasn't going to enter because he didn't want to like overshadow people, and then he ended up getting a whole quest in the game revolved around the sides.
Yeah.
He's like, I'll work it from the inside.
He did. I know he entered the Battle Chasers monster
yeah.
contest
Yeah.
too, and causing trouble because his thing was so awesome.
Yeah.
He's a talented dude.
Disqualified from being a ex-Vigil.
Alright, here's a good one from Velociraptor. Out of spoiler curiosity, was the Horsemaster the shadow character at the very end of 2 talking to Lilith?
Oh,
No, it wasn't.
No.
Do you want to reveal who that was?
That was
that name has already been uttered already.
disembodied voice number.
That's to be revealed in future games.
Alright.
I thought it said who it was.
broadcast.
If you rewind
it
earlier,
say the broadcast?
you'll hear a spoiler from Dave.
Did it not say the name of the
Yeah, I
must
thought
not
Did
it
not
was-
say
no,
that.
I thought
No.
it was obvious who it was.
No, I don't.
It was in our internal documents that said
Maybe.
And then the
Yeah.
game it would just say like disembodied voice.
It doesn't say Lucifer in the credits. No, I'm just kidding.
No,
I'm just
because
kidding.
that's not who
I'm
it was.
just kidding.
It was
Seraphin
Lucifer.
asks what our favorite tracks from the official soundtrack are.
Oh man, I don't remember the names, but that's
There's
like
some awesome
The
ones.
Guardian
Yeah,
fight's
all
my
of them?
favorite. I
the
play it
Guardian
all the
fight's
time.
good. I love some of the combat music.
Hey, we should
from,
go to the Guardian fight
the
right
first
now.
song.
Alright,
Yeah. Even the opening credits. Crow
Yeah.
fly in.
Yes,
the
that's,
power.
I think
that's
Plains
Turns out-
of the Dead.
yeah,
Plains of Dead.
the overall music from this zone from Z2 is fucking great.
Z1,
Yeah, Jesper Kid, man.
Balls.
Killing us.
So good.
Yeah. Mine's definitely like the Maker
down.
theme,
Right there.
and then Plains of Death. I think.
that's
is
it.
the songs.
There,
And the
actually,
Crowfather.
the heavy combat music from Zone 2. No, the heavy combat music from Zone 4, whatever we ended up calling that zone. The demon music.
Yes.
That one. I
He had,
still-
he had like, a
we
lot
still
of
listen
menacing
to-
textures. And,
We still listen to Jesper's soundtrack at work. Like
The Crowfather theme has the second half turns into like that Zimmer like Dark Knight like dun, dun, like heroic.
Yeah. Shorty, this is my.
This also has some awesome cutscenes too.
Mm-hmm.
This is the best boss fight ever made. Just throwing it out.
Yeah. Oh, one of the most exciting
Well,
things
one of like 20 best boss
with this area for the Definitive Edition.
Steve's not so hot on it.
What?
This
Steve's
is
not
Did he
so
not
hot.
work on it?
Huh?
Well, I
No,
did
I'm
the
saying.
I did the prototype stuff, and
Yeah,
then
okay.
is it Scott? I think Scott finished the animations on it.
I'm just trying to drive a wedge and
Sure.
awesome.
It always bummed me out. It always bummed me out to see this guy all bloodied after. I didn't like it.
Yeah.
We were more-
Poor
And
guy.
the
Yes,
Crowfather
like
too. What's up with
Yeah.
beating up elderly people? Look at that! Oh, I hate looking at that. No, it's terrible.
voiced by James
brutal.
Cosmo.
Yeah, remember the when
Oh.
we recorded James Cosmo's stuff. That's what I think whenever I see that guy, and we're like, can you sound more Scottish?
You mean
Because
we,
some
you
of
mean
the
you?
he was there too.
Okay, fine. Can you sound more Scottish?
Yeah, because some of the other actors had given a more
Like a cartoon
Scottish,
Scottish?
yeah,
Yes.
cartoon Scottish.
That's awesome.
Effective
Isn't that what he said? Though? He's like,
performance.
you mean more like what
All
Americans
right,
think
Steve, you gotta
Scottish
do
people
this.
sound
He's like Scrooge
I'm off
McDuck.
to-
I'm like, yeah.
I almost wore my DuckTales
He's a
shirt
Scottish
today.
actor.
Instead of, before I was like, hey, I have a Darksiders, I'm going to put that on.
Nice.
I almost wore my Scrooge McDuck shirt. DuckTales. Don't make me sing the theme song.
That was pretty good. I'm sure it would pick up pretty well too. All right. In addition to the gold in the arena, what other graphical features, graphical improvements sprinkle around? I was going to mention one thing in this fight. Even was like this is utilizing our terrain system.
We designed it to.
This utilized our internal terrain engine, but one of the big problems was we weren't able to render that many grass cards, which always felt wrong to me. So it was very sparse, but with a little bit more overhead, we were able to just really blow out the grass in here, especially.
Wait, what?
You sure you don't want to do this?
I got it.
The terrain looks really nice.
Yeah, the grass is bad.
Was this a precursor to Kronos and the giant battle? Did you fight this guy in the Oculus Rift?
No. Kronos is a lot different. This is very much like testosterone-laden Kilmajig. Kronos is more laid back. But there's still giant guys in both games.
This boss inspired
pretty
by
awesome
nothing in
figure.
particular. No game.
Here's a good question for John.
Dash Deep.
I want to know this too. I didn't get it off
Dash
of a
up
weird
and
link
down
on
and
YouTube.
Jump off it.
But
Jump.
Slog Knight wants to know, why wasn't the Guardians theme, the music for this fight, why wasn't that included on the original soundtrack? And I put all blame you.
All blame me. No, I didn't get to make the
Nice.
decision there. They basically chose a list of songs that was appropriate for one CD, released it as an album. Jesper and his publisher had some decisions to make on that as well. They were part of that process.
Was that Jesper?
Yes, Jesper
Okay.
did.
Oh, really? I did not know that. It's fascinating.
Oh, here's a good question from Walcor. What were you obliged to cut some of the awesome stuff from the final version of the game that you can reveal? I'm sure that, I don't know, there's so much stuff on the cutting room floor.
We
Darksiders.
cut entire dungeons for sure. I remember one of the last ones we cut was there was a medium dungeon in Zone 2 that we had to cut kind of late.
We used a lot, because there was a
We
whole
broke-
icy area in Zone 2, remember? And then we just turned that into the DLC.
Yeah, we had the one.
I know people don't want to hear that. Oh no, but for the record, we did not finish that before the game was done. We worked very hard after the game to get that done.
No, what part of that went to the DLC?
It was the last Horseman. Just the art. We
the
there was a
art,
whole new
yeah.
dungeon boss and everything. But
Yeah, we had to design
there was like a
that.
whole season in the Undead Plains.
And some stuff was cut and then resurrected, like the gun sequence, the shooting sequence was originally going to be a core path thing. I remember the one that started as a second Iron, but the long gun shooting sequence.
Yeah.
And then we decided to change that to make it
So
something
side
that featured the undead dudes. And then, but we're like, yeah, that was cool though. Let's just keep it. So we made it like the most super secret dungeon in the game, where if you find that little hole, you jump down in, and fall down in there.
Yeah.
So that was cut and then brought back. Actually, barely made it.
We did the concept for this guy. Is this a Southam special?
Yeah, I think
like
it's Southam,
Southam.
yeah.
I feel like I remember that.
One of my favorite memories from Darksiders 1 in terms of putting something in at the last minute was Dave sitting on Ryan's couch, and our producer came in, and Tim Bell, and asked, "So we're done, right? There's nothing else." And Dave's like, "New Game Plus, add in." And we did, and we shipped with New Game Plus, and it worked.
I just gotta do what's right.
Yep.
Even if it's the wrong thing to do.
Oh, looks like you have a fan. Soul Jazzman says, "It's Steve Madureira, the unsung animation hero." I agree with that statement.
Agreed.
I agree.
Well, thank you.
Well, technically he's not on Sun now, so.
Yeah, he's just been sung.
He's just an animation guy now.
Don't tell him
That
things
lace
like
on.
that though. It's so easy. It's so easy to work with him right now. And as soon as his head gets
Why is that ball just sitting there? I mean, that's meant on purpose.
Yeah.
whoa, what's happening?
Oh, shoot it!
It's alright, I went on the ground. No one can see it now.
It's gonna come back.
We're actually working on bug fixes too while we go through this. Write that down.
Yeah,
There was a whole third stage to this boss fight. But
Oh yeah,
we ran out of time.
Head, yeah.
The head was going to float in the air, and then all the giant rock pieces were going to float up, and then you had to like dodge him out by trying to shoot the thing on his head.
Oh yeah, it's just a cutscene.
Then we made it into a cutscene. So
Well, that's one thing we cut to answer your
that's
question.
true. There you go. That comes back to the other bit. It was pretty cool. I had it mocked out, but yeah, we just didn't have time to finish it.
All right, here's a question. If Darksiders 3 would be made, and you had to choose between Fury and Strife, who would it be as the main character?
Fury.
Strife.
Dang.
See, that's why it'll never
All right,
happen.
we're going to go our separate ways. You guys are going to work on the Strife game, work on the Fury game.
But I want to
come back in 6 months, see where we're at.
I want to have.
Why
both
choose,
characters.
man? Just do both. Come on. Someone asked me recently that
Plus, it's a sausage fest so far, man.
That's true. We need the hot chick. How do you know they have sausages though? They're not human. The pillar and the stones.
Yeah. You have to be a eunuch to be.
No, someone asked me recently who would win the chaos form or death's form from like war versus death chaos forms.
I was not a fan of how that went down in the comic. I think war would take him.
War was like the
chaos
whole
form is dope.
It's like, you know, you calm him down and then it's not as powerful because this whole, the angrier I get, the stronger I get. Yeah.
Well, don't forget, War had that horn. He could just blow and not make it back.
Stop it! Just stop it!
That horn that people swore would be used again at some point in the game in some way that was
like our
meaningful,
Red
we just
Rust.
never did.
It was just unlocked wicked.
He should have been, dude. The ending should have been like, not alone. Oh man, can we put that back in there? Sorry, Liam O'Brien, I butchered your.
Not alone. So I'll take turns trying it.
We did have requests for people asking us to say this is no place for a horse. We're going to go around the room. Who wants to?
No place for a horse.
There's the bloodied old guy again. God. You gotta look away.
That'd be fine with good.
Someone's imagining how that third stage in there.
Oh yeah.
The what?
It would have been cool. The boss fight. It's catching up now, so
Yeah.
people are commenting.
The big ball's the true final boss. I agree. Here's a question for Dave. Will DS3 be coded on a new engine?
I don't know.
I would hope so. I would hope it would be done in something more modern.
My vote would be yes. Even though I was intimately involved in making that engine, it's pretty dated at this point.
This is a pretty awesome cutscene.
Yeah.
Good.
I do like the roar after he realizes the dude's dead, and he's like,
Yeah.
I think this is Scott Marshall special.
Determination.
he should have been like, I am Groot. He kind of
Just
looks
headbutted him.
brutish.
I just realized he headbutted him to death.
With the gem.
I remember we couldn't decide what the hell
Fight
to
dirty.
do when after you cut away from that cutscene. Like there would be pieces of stuff everywhere. It's an explosion. Should he still be pat? No, just have it vaporize into a black hole.
We should have just done like the SpongeBob SquarePants thing. Said 1 hour later.
We all
everything
are.
kind of settled down. There's rubble on the ground.
Yeah, there's
There's
that
hammers
big,
out there. And
that
there's
big
stone
hammer.
around. The rest of them incinerated.
The hammer being behind is cool.
You can actually unlock the hammer later in the game and use it in the fight. At that scale. I'm not gonna that code out there.
Here's a good one. I've always been curious about the. Come on in, Chris.
Chris Me just photobombed the
Yeah.
live stream.
I've always been curious about the games, why death collects currency in the form of gold, war collected currencies in the form of souls.
Well, technically that was because war was on Earth where all the souls of the humans were, and death's in the underworld and these fantasy worlds where there's not a ton of
Yeah, it
souls
seemed
there.
funny for dudes to care about money, you know, as an exchange, because what are they going to do with it? So, it doesn't make like a ton of sense, but whatever. It's justifiable within the game world.
Because Vulcan
Game
likes
logic,
souls,
man.
Yummy, yummy souls.
Yeah, Vorgum was the only vendor, and
Old
also
ones,
one of
young
souls.
ones, cute ones, ugly ones.
There were a few
Young ones. Yeah. He has a creeper.
Come on, my placeholder voice was
You
dope.
did a fantastic job. You
Philomar
did.
is
You
pretty
did
good,
Philomar.
but
If only we had a
This was
blooper
better.
reel of some of the original dialogue. the VO, because when we were working on Darksiders 2, and there was so much more VO and dialogue to handle that we had to implement it before we could record it. So most of us took turns going into the VO booth with Jeremy Robbins crying tears of pain, recording horrible
joy.
dialogue. My Sean Connery maker.
Your Sean Connery maker is the Scottish Russian.
Yeah, I did. Look,
my old thing was like Russian and
it was
Jamaican.
Red October. It was on for Red October, man. I was
Yes.
a Scottish guy playing a Russian. That's just how it goes.
There's
Totally forgot
Absalom.
there's a Russian
I totally
subtitle.
forgot till right now that we added this cutscene.
Absalom.
Oh,
Yeah, it was
right.
pretty late in the game.
It's Absalami.
I forgot about this.
A lot of hand gesturing going on there.
Always was.
Absalom looked cool. He looked awesome in the final fight too.
He's the first character we converted for the Deathinitive Edition. Random fact.
Absalom was?
Yep.
Yeah.
He was our test case.
Ah, those eyeballs in his chest.
Yeah, they like blink. That's gross.
It's gross as hell.
That's thanks to Chris Mead. Chris Mead did all
Attention to detail. This fight's a lot harder now at the beginning of the game too.
Oh really?
Apparently everybody thought it was a cakewalk.
It's not any. He just has more health, so he doesn't go through the
It's
phases
like-
so fast.
15% harder.
Yeah, I mean,
Like
and only through health.
15% harder?
What?
It makes
Like
it feel
Tiamat
bad.
was 50%.
Tiamat was 100%. Hey,
She wasn't that hard when you play her like 70 times
Yeah,
a day.
I felt like that boss was really easy.
No, the best part about that story is that she's so infamously hard, but we didn't know that she was going to be that hard because Dave secretly tuned her like the day before we submitted to be
That's what happens when you change all the numbers at the last
Yeah.
minute. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. For those of you that beat Tiamat and felt an overwhelming sense of accomplishment,
There you go.
Somebody
We were like an early
said
Dark
it.
Souls. It was
Yeah.
an early Dark Souls moment.
Somebody said it was their greatest gaming achievement that they felt.
Wow.
There you go.
I realized it was too hard when I went to Arizona and watched my nephew play her over and over and over. And I'm like, all right, third, fourth time, like, this is cool. That's right at the point where you're like, now if you beat it, you're going to feel really good. 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th. Like, it's so obvious. How do I know how to play? Give me the controller.
Then you beat it,
And
right?
then Dave gets it on his
Yeah,
third
I beat it on the first try. I don't know what his problem is.
Shout out to Powerhouse Animation Studio.
Oh, yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
those are awesome.
This stuff, we're also working with them on Battle Chasers, actually.
They did our
Their
gunfire
stuff.
logo.
Yeah, the Gunfire logo is awesome.
Oh yeah, it was really cool.
First seen on Fuseball on the screen.
Yeah, that's right. That's true.
If you were paying attention.
Yeah, looping.
Forever. I was just happy to get it working. There's a question if
You guys need to let us know next time you're doing a stream of that, and we'll pay for some advertising.
Yeah,
It was like
we have money.
Sure.
That's 50 cents an hour.
All right. Have a Kickstarter video on loop back there.
Were the
Buck.
storyboards I did for this stuff like in the art book or no? Did they know that? I should find
Yeah, I don't
those.
know.
I have those somewhere. I did like pretty loose drawings for that stuff.
Yeah, those turned out awesome.
Friggin' Powerhouse.
If Darksiders 3 would be made in Strife, what weapons would he have?
I'm sorry?
They're asking like in a theoretical world where Darksiders 3 exists.
Guns.
What, guns? Would he have a sword?
He would find
Any
more
melee
sword.
weapon?
We've already used
That's
his
a
weapons in
hero.
Darksiders 1 and Darksiders
That's
2.
true.
Yeah, since they always find each other's shit laying around,
What were
maybe
they
he'll find more sword.
He
It
gets
was
the
Mercy
Eater
and what's the other
Eater.
one it's called? One's called Mercy. They all thought-
Oh yeah, that's right.
That's the one that
Mercy's from Darksiders 1, right?
finds, yeah.
Hey, look in your inventory. What's the other one called?
Isn't it Retribution?
No.
Where's the shield of gear items? Nowhere?
Down.
Yeah, right there. Redemption.
Redemption. Mercy and Redemption.
There you go. Mercy and
There's his
Redemption.
weapons.
These
You've
two
already
guns.
used them.
Until you open your first chest and different guns pop out. They just pop them out.
Damn, those were
So
gonna
much
be
for
the horse
Mercy and
names.
Redemption.
The horse names for.
Already used those. Wow, sounds like Strife's a pretty upstanding guy. I mean, Mercy and Redemption. Just saying.
Well, he uses them ironically. 'cause
Oh.
he's
He was a hipster.
My guns are ironically named.
We should probably.
You
like,
never
take-
give Mercy. Why'd you
take
call
one,
it Mercy?
one or two
Irony.
more questions.
Alright. Cool. Alright, we're gonna round it out. We'll just do a couple more questions here and then we'll shut down the stream.
I gotta go.
I love how Ostagoth
Yeah.
too. He looks cool.
Yeah,
Yes.
Ostagoth is one of my favorite.
Let's see.
Ostagoth and Samael are two of my favorites.
Somebody asked about was it Velociraptor again, was asking about the Abaddon fight. Yeah, we can do it a little tougher. He has a bigger health pool now, so he's not as much of a pushover. It's always hard to balance that when you don't know what loot people will have by the end of the game, because there's a lot of ways to play Darksiders 2, like depending on what you want to spec out in either side of this tree, and I can't remember the two specs. Basically the sorcerer
Caster
or
and
the
melee. What are they called?
Necromancer
Necromancer.
something
and-
else. Yeah.
Necromancer and say Brawler?
Don't look.
Yeah,
up.
Necromancer and
Harbinger.
Harbinger.
Harbinger and
Harbinger.
Necromancer.
I knew that. Test.
That's the problem with you work on a game for 2 years with everything having a working title, and then suddenly in the month before ship you go, holy shit, we got to name all this stuff. We can't call it Z1, LD1.
Plus legal goes
Nobody's
through
gonna remember
and
that.
Yeah.
you have to rename this.
You
this,
can't
this,
call
this,
that a
this,
Feast for
this.
Crows. That's for Game of Thrones.
How did the Crowfather get in there?
Mark Mann wants to know if you'll be taking Battle Chaser questions. And I believe you have an AMA later.
Yes, we have.
Yes,
today.
at 5 p.m. Central on Twitter. Tweet me all your tweets.
And that's at Joe Mad X.
Right,
Yes,
at Joe Mad
at
X.
Joe Mad X,
Yep. Joe will be doing an AMA 5 o'clock.
Oh yeah, I don't think we ever said whose account it could have been Battle Chasers, yeah. But it's mine.
Huh? No, we
At Joe Mad X.
We say your account.
Cool.
At Joe Mad X.
Why didn't you give a more important place to Vulgrim in DS2, considering he was much more connected to death, lore-wise? He was an awesome character in the first one, and probably the best character.
This happened concurrently with. So he was on Earth at that time, right?
Yeah, it's just one of those stupid developer things where, like, honestly, it wasn't until late in the game where we're like, crap, I can't believe we didn't do Vulgrim. That's dumb.
Yeah.
And then we brought him back, but we didn't have time to make
We
it.
all love the
He's
character.
awesome.
So.
It was just an oversight on our part.
And then Velociraptor wants to know, is the merchant the species the Nephilim annihilated, turned into the powerful weapons that they then hid away in the Nephilim vaults?
The Rahim from the book? No, it's a different guy. They destroyed a lot of worlds.
We actually
remember that.
yeah, early on we were actually going to do have them travel to all these different worlds they had destroyed in the past before Earth. That would have been super cool.
Yeah, that was kind of one of the meta stories, is that that Earth is only one of many worlds that they've done this on through. For some reason that reminded me, talk about some of the other side characters of things that we cut that would have been kind of cool. There was a point where Death was going to have a female watcher. Remember that?
Oh, yeah.
That would have been kind of cool. Kept the watcher in. He's one of those guys, kind of like Vulgrim, who got downplayed in Darksiders 2. The watcher was just so awesome. I mean, it helps when
I think
guy
the
like Mark
female
Hamill
watcher
listens in.
appears in the comic.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. We ended
for
up
a
using her in the
second,
comic. That's
and
right.
then
Yeah.
the
we ended up
watcher
using her in the
kills her.
comic. But it was cool when she was going to be in the game. Plus, just having a awesome voice tormenting the horseman. Could have got female Mark Hamill to do it.
Female.
Whatever the female equivalent of Mark Hamill.
We had to save a buck and do the Crow.
Let's save a buck.
No voice. No more voices in this game.
Yeah, it turns out there wasn't a female Mark Hamill. Or she sounded like a crow.
One of my favorite things we cut, or well, not like just a little inside baseball, we cut the Hunter, who's actually in DLC 90. He was actually planted in Darksiders 1. He has, in the Ashlands, there's a cave that basically has a little kind of staircase up that you just kind of pass through, and there's crates in there, but that was supposed to be his holdout. But then he eventually got his due in the 90-day DLC.
Well, that's right. You were going to be killing the Ash Dwellers to get him a way to get out.
We had to redesign the entire Ashlands.
That actually was one of my favorite little story cutscene moments where, like, War had to give him the gift.
Give him mercy, yeah.
Death. And
with mercy.
You kill the last living human.
Wait, is that why we called the gun mercy? Because didn't he give you the gun and then you shot him with it? In the original.
That is why.
Yeah.
That is why.
You gave him mercy, yeah.
That's cool. That's why.
See, there's a reason to this stuff. Okay? It's not arbitrary. Good.
Only would have done it that way.
No, you're totally right.
Yeah.
And we imagined his voice sounding like what's that? The dude from all the westerns with the big mustache.
Sam
Elliott. Yeah, Sam
Yeah.
Elliott. He had kind of a Sam Elliott western.
He would have sounded like
Well,
that guy from
originally he had,
Lebowski, because that's what he would have sounded like to me.
Except for yeah, that's going to make fun of the concept. Sorry, Paul Richards, but that was a funny one. The original Hunter guy with the big chest.
Yeah, I was going to say he had a bare chest and like a perfect six-pack.
He didn't look like Sam Elliott, that's for sure. It looked cool.
We did a few versions of his
Yeah,
model.
we
Did
did
you
a
guys
lot.
keep that same model or change it for the DLC?
No,
it was a
different.
completely
It was completely different. Eric Spiller did him.
Okay.
He's got like a robotic leg and stuff now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Big ass spring on it.
Oh yeah, was that the Richard Lyons concept one?
Yeah.
That was cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
Plus, one thing I would like to say about, just props to all the concept artists that worked on both these games, because I get credited a lot with it all the time. We're like, man, I got the Darksiders art book, Joe's best. And it's like, if you actually look at the credits, in that book, you'll see there's lots of artists that worked on these games, like Paul Richards and Richard Lyons.
DLC 90 real quick and see.
Sure.
Uriel.
Avery, Coleman, Food Gang. There's like
Yeah,
a
you got
lot
environments.
of guys that worked on this game. So, and obviously, it is one of the coolest
And then just read one.
game world in recent years, I think.
Describe this.
But you know, obviously,
No weapons.
I always feel weird when people like compliment me on it because it's like it was such a huge team effort, and even from the other departments. I mean, a lot of the gameplay drove the visuals and the story and everything. So it's definitely not, everything just gelled and came together beautifully.
I didn't call it Town of Ash.
Wow, I'm surprised it was called. That was like the original name I gave it in the write-up, but they changed every other name of everything.
There's the only one that wasn't taken.
Yeah.
I think I had one name that got in too. It was Breach.
Breach? Yeah. Yeah, they I think got changed.
And so, let's see, just fly through a couple more questions. Was Mercy in DS, the gun in DS1, was it actually Stripes, or did Alfie make it? Because he did give it to War when he went to go meet him.
Yeah, it was supposed to be Stripes' gun,
I
though.
think he was fixing it or something. What thing was.
Yeah, that happened a lot where we'd cut like sections of the game and then we're like, we still have to give him the gun though. How are we gonna do this?
Yeah.
Game logic.
I'm pretty sure it was in the description that it was like, this gun looks familiar or something like that.
Okay.
Huh.
You want to kill him?
That was one of my favorites.
Kind of empowerment.
Darksiders 1.
Yeah.
Get the gun from
Just
Mulane.
keep pushing in your inventory to get yourself
Cell
guns
phones.
and
Yeah.
stuff, so yeah, it's probably pretty hard. Actually, we're getting a request for Lilith, which always a favorite.
So should I know about it?
Yeah, we jump there real quick and then
No,
we'll
say no.
and oh god, what have you done? There we go. Yeah, go to environment. Sorry, debug save. Sorry.
Stupid crow.
Let's check out what Stupid Crow
What is Stupid Crow? Is it a test
I
level for
should
those?
know.
We're all
It
gonna-
probably
It's
crashed
all
when
bodily.
doing
Okay.
Here, I can do chirp on mode.
If it was Joey, he would do it.
Yeah.
I remember at the show where he's like, just press D, do it. It's like, no, it'll crash. Like,
No, the
just
best
do
part was
it.
it was Hayden that it was
Crash.
running, wasn't it? Hayden running, and Joe was like, "Come on, just press whatever was P." Give him all the weapons and all the abilities, which often resulted in out of memory crashes. And Hayden was behind the controller and wouldn't say a word because he was just going.
Frozen in terror.
And he was like, "Oh, it'll work," because it worked like 10%
It was D,
of the time.
right?
D, whatever it was. He was like, finally, Joe gets him to do it. Boop. Blue bars. D.
Blue bars.
D.
That was one of our first on-air demos of the game. Do I remember that?
Oh, was that the one at GameSpot?
Yeah, I think it was. It was like on their little show floor thing at E3.
I just remember Hayden going.
10%, those pretty good odds, yeah.
Hayden Dalton, smart
Roll the
man.
dice.
Just playing the odds.
I feel like it worked like several times in a row that day.
See,
And
but-
I was like, maybe it's
In
fixed.
some alternate universe, that would have not hit.
I love that armor set.
And that story is completely different.
That armor set's cool.
Yeah, I think our weapons and armor got more and more World of Warcraft-ish as we went.
There's Upres, Lilith. What's that?
Well, I mean,
It's-
you played
we had a
Arcus and
request
Darksiders
for
1,
in
so.
chat. Let's see. How many game pluses do we have? I can't remember. Is it just one?
John Tran's making
I
fun of
don't
my
know.
combat
I
skills.
wish I knew the answer to that.
John Tran's making fun of you.
Well, John
Let's
Tran,
see
I
him
haven't
show up
played in
doing
a long
better.
time, so.
As for PC, keep getting that question. Nordic should have some info. It's currently, they're slotting sometime in November, so they'll probably have more info on it soon.
That's funny.
Lilith, what's up, girl? Oh, hey.
She's like made of jello. Got the same upside down wings as Samo.
Demons all have them.
I like the upside down
Yeah,
thing.
most
I don't
of them
remember
do.
where that came
It
from.
was Paul Richards.
Yeah, wasn't
it
Paul, I think, did that?
Yeah, she turned out pretty cool. She gets her comeuppance at the end of the game, though.
Spoiler alert.
I would have liked to see enhanced physics. A little more next gen-ish.
I don't know if you can get more enhanced than that.
Well, we have Red Monica in our
Yeah,
game, so
that's true.
stay tuned.
No, we really do. Really do stay tuned. We're all just watching the cutscene.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, are we supposed to be talking or something?
This is a cool cutscene. This is probably my favorite zone.
It's a great example of like just the ridiculous amount of detail and quality that were put into some of these character models that people just didn't get to see in the original versions.
Yeah.
So we had to scale them down to fit in memory or whatever. But if you just look at Lilith like that looks amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
But I'm going to guess in all seriousness, though, it probably just having the memory limitations freed up is going to make it so much more stable. Because a lot of the problems that we did have with the first version of the game were memory issues, right? So it's just a big game. I'm looking forward to playing it.
Plus, just again, the rendering changes so like metal can kind of. We didn't want it to look realistic because it's a stylized game, but just add a little, just a tiny bit of something to the metals and some of the other materials so they don't just all look like stone.
I'll definitely say too that the renders, like the screenshots, comparison shots, look pretty good. But it is way more apparent in motion. I mean, as most things are, but seeing it in motion, the difference is pretty dramatic.
It's funny. It's
So I'm glad we got to.
the game that it was meant to be. I had a question of what armor that is. They wanted to know what armor he has equipped right now. I don't even know off the top of my head. The shoulder pads, probably.
Whatever it is,
it's a mage's.
It's probably out of balance because the QA guy always had the most out of balance stuff. So if you want to look at this loadout, this is probably the most optimal loadout in the game. Maybe not.
It's not the Magus.
It was.
It was.
The,
yeah. The little crescent shape.
Yeah. It's
One Scala wrap. There's a lot of cool armor sets in here.
There's a lot of armor sets.
At one point, we had enough armor sets that you get a new one every 5 minutes. Remember that? Or was it weapons? We're like, all right, we got 900 weapons. It's like, wait, how many minutes of gameplay are there?
Well, the best part too is I think in an early playthrough, the first chest we opened dropped one of each of the side weapon types. So they could drop the hammer,
Yeah.
Oprah says he's never seen a Joe Matt drawing of Lilith. Have you ever drawn her? I thought you drew the original one. It wasn't like a full body, it was like an upper body, right?
I did her face and like bust first, and then Paul did the full body.
That's similar to how Samuel was concepted, right?
I think
like you started him and then Paul took him the distance.